Wandavision, the latest Marvel Studios project, has finally come to Disney+, and to say I've been waiting for this show for ages is an understatement. Hearing that Marvel fanfare again for something new just feels so good. Wandavision focuses on the characters Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, and Vision, hence the title Wandavision, and is set within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, sharing continuity with the films of the franchise. Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany reprise their respective roles, and after the events of Endgame, the couple are living the ideal suburban life in the town of Westview while trying to conceal their powers. As they begin to enter new decades and encounter television tropes, the couple suspects that things are not as they seem, and the show plays about with the idea of the old TV sitcoms. So if you're old enough to remember shows like Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie, Wandavision borrows ideas from shows like those, but puts its own unique twist on things, and there's this dark undertone that sort of runs throughout the show. It's almost like the idea of the happy, sad clown putting on a smile while deep down they're being torn apart inside. And as we all know, the last time we saw Vision, he was getting the Infinity Stone ripped out of his head by Thanos, so things are definitely not what they seem. How is he alive is the first question, and is this all real? Comic fans will of course be familiar with the House of M storyline, in which Wanda alters reality, which has serious consequences for the world around her. Wandavision won't be following that story, as such, as mutants aren't in the MCU yet, but the general idea is still the same. The feeling I get from seeing the first two episodes is that we're in this bubble that Wanda has created. Think of something like the dome in Simpsons movie, and Wanda being this puppet master. Anything that seems to be interfering gets shut down by her powers, and there's also this feeling like everything and everyone within this bubble is being held against their will. And every now and again they try to fight against the power that's holding them. And that's when things get a little bit creepy and sort of like something out of the Twilight Zone. If you've watched Legion, it definitely gives off a similar vibe. It's very stylized, zany personality, and there's more to it than meets the eye. The cast all seem to be having loads of fun making this show, and Paul Bettany, who's the straight-laced character, is just perfect with his comedic spots. Catherine Hahn plays Agnes, the nosy neighbour, and again, if you're familiar with the old TV sitcoms, there's always this nosy neighbour peering out of their curtains or trying to barge their way into the neighbour's house to find out what was going on. And Catherine Hahn does a great job as playing that character. And the show is generally very funny. It's cast are great, but again, at the same time, it makes you a bit nervous because as the viewer, you know something's going on, and it feels like you're watching a crash happening in slow motion. We also know that Kat Dennings will be reprising her role as Darcy, who you might remember from the Thor movies, and at some point Randall Park as Jimmy Woo will be also making an appearance. He was last in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Tiona Paris will play Monica Rambeau, who will be an interesting character to watch and see what actually happens with her. If I had any criticisms of the show, it's that for me the episodes are a bit short at 30 minutes each, but they are following the sitcom format, and that's more to do with my impatience for wanting to know what happens next. If the episodes were longer, we'd probably get to know what's happening much more sooner, but I'm happy to wait. I also feel like younger viewers may not fully get what the show is trying to do at first, and there's also little to no action that some might be expecting, being that this is a Marvel show. However, being an all-out action show is not what this is all about, but so stick with it, as I'm sure things will build up towards the finale and we'll see some incredible things happening. Wandavision is a breath of fresh air for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it completely nails the sitcom style it's going for. It's charming, weird, funny, quirky, confusing, and a surprisingly dark show that has the advantage of telling a more self-contained story over its weekly episodes. And this is something I've been thinking about with these Disney Plus shows. They have this benefit of really fleshing out these characters much more than they could within the movies before actually bringing them back into the movies. There's no need to rush these stories, and I'm having a lot of fun getting back into the MCU with WandaVision. Waiting week to week will be hard, but it will be another thing to look forward to. The first two episodes of WandaVision are out now on Disney+, and each new episode will air weekly. If you've watched the first two episodes, let me know what you think of them in the comments below. If you haven't watched them, what are you waiting for? Go and watch them, come back, let me know what you think. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like the review, hit the like button. If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.